making laws for everyone and slicing all corruption. By her righteous hand the law is enforced, and all can have elation. Harmony Butterfly, the righteous, the third day queen. Born Squatic 65, 96 AM. Died Revnoct 42, 158 AM. Reigned 117 AM to 151 AM. Married to Plura Waterson. Children Febe Butterfly. Harmony was born on Squatic 65, 96 AM to Queen Pilaria Butterfly and King Adrian Cross. She had her father's white hair and red eyes, and bore white crosses on her cheeks. From early on in her childhood, Harmony exhibited a very traditional and polite way, and was fiercely regimented. The princess unfortunately was ignored by most children due to her strict personality and odd hair and eye colours. Harmony loved attending the 100-year commemoration of Mewni independence and expressed a love for singing at this time. She would often write songs after this and sing to herself to calm herself down. Her little sister, Felicia Butterfly, was born on Squatic 60, 100 AM, with white hair and blue eyes, with blue full moons on her cheeks. Harmony was the most understanding person to her little sister and encouraged her to play safely, and would give stern words to anybody so that they wouldn't tease her sister for anything. Harmony was a very smart girl, already reading well by age 7. She also displayed fantastic political intelligence. In spite of this, Harmony still loved spending time with her family, loving her parents and little sister dearly, and finding her grandmother lovely, if a little frustrating. Queen Pilaria then informed Harmony that she would be marrying Plura Waterson of the Waterson noble house when she came of age. Harmony was slightly confused, but simply said that she hoped he was kind. Harmony and Plura met soon after, and though Harmony was unsure if his fairy-like ways at first, she soon came to love him, as he told her of ways she could improve her voice. Harmony inherited the wand, and it transformed into a pair of scales. Harmony found this rather confusing at first, but then found that if you cast a spell on somebody and they told a lie, the scale would tip on the right side. If they told the truth, it would tip on the grey side. The Queen danced with Plura at the Lonely Star Rock, and felt uncomfortable with everyone watching, but when she decided to sing her comeback song, the nobles heard and were very impressed. She was also sometimes called the Songbird as a result of this incident. On that night, Harmony noticed Felicia looking uncomfortable. Through the use of her wand, she found an older man had insulted her sister by taking advantage of her innocent nature. What happened to this man is unknown, but Cosmica did mention that she sent him to somewhere nobody ever will return from. Despite King Adrian's constant meddling with Felicia's life and telling her to be different, she stays true to herself, thanks in part to Harmony telling her to never change, no matter what anyone else thinks. Harmony and Plura were then married, and a year later, Harmony gained the crown. Though it's integral to our society today, Harmony became quite unpopular for tightening laws and making a better justice system. Harmony became extremely depressive when her sister disappeared overnight, and it seemed that her parents were no longer in speaking terms. Harmony never found out the reason for Felicia's sudden absence, and was left to Plura to comfort her. The corrupted nobles were also ousted by Harmony, which was surely an unpopular move, one that Harmony could make for her intimidating power. She also took part in many trials, using her scales to determine the truth. Harmony made many law books, some of which are still followed today, both in Mewni and the minor kingdoms. Harmony gave birth to her only child, a girl named Febe Butterfly, in Samarano 5, 121 AM. She had her father's red hair and the queen's red eyes, and possessed red crescent moons on her cheeks. Harmony was still very hard-working, even as a mother. Tessa loved Febe more than anybody else, and her daughter always came above everything. It is also worth noting that due to other things that Adrian had done, Harmony was no longer on speaking terms with her father. Adrian soon moved away from Harmony and Pilaria, and Felicia returned to Mewni, now called Felicia Solar, with her husband, Spectrum Solar, and their son, Prism Solar. Harmony was overjoyed at her sister's return, and happily included Spectrum and Prism in her family. The sisters were happy to see that Febe and Prism were growing up so closely, and enjoyed watching their children play together. The family often vacationed in different dimensions, but in Mewni, they would often go to the beach. Harmony and Plura would look to the horizon, and Felicia and Spectrum would make sculptures, while Febe and Prism would listen to their grandmother's stories. Harmony would happily let Polaria take Febe out stargazing when she worked late into the night in some cases, and she also made a much more brand for the organisations in the legal system, too many of them to list in this book. In preparation for her daughter inheriting the line, Harmony reproduced the workings of her scales with Plura's help so it could continue to be used in courtrooms. The current seal of the courts has included the scales of justice since Harmony's reign. Febe soon inherited the line, and Harmony was pleased to see it took a form that she both understood and was fond of. That year, on Squaretex 77, 155 AM, the Queen Mother Polaria passed away from tuberculosis. Harmony fell into such a depressive state she even stopped working for 6 months. With the support of Febe and Plura, she endured. Harmony understood and supported Febe's decision to marry Rowan Walk, and got along quite well with him, being pleased when he trained to be in the royal guard for his future queen. She also took to calling Febe Scarlet Child, since Febe loved all red things. Febe's longest star ball was something to behold, especially with her elaborate dress and decision to have colours of love, as well as traditional decorations around the room. In the Selenium, Harmony and Plura watched religiously as Febe and Rowan danced under the moon, and that celebration was one of the most highly regarded ones since the founding of Mewni. Harmony then passed the crown to Febe, and shortly after retired from jurisdiction, as she wished to spend the rest of her days with Plura and Felicia. Harmony supported Febe through her grief after Rowan was killed during the time when she was pregnant with Sophie, and helped care for the infant Saturnia along with Plura. Harmony defended Febe against all that spoke ill of her because she decided not to remarry after Rowan died, and encouraged the girls that it was okay to be without your father's presence. Harmony passed away in Graf Mark 42, 158 AM, from natural causes, and was remembered as the founder of justice in Mewni.